All right, today we've got something really cool for you. We are diving into a fascinating thought experiment, putting two different AI systems to the ultimate test, a classic survival scenario. The real question is, when the stakes are literally life and death, how does an AI choose who gets to live?
So let's get right into it. The challenge is one you've probably heard before, right? You're on a deserted island, you can only save 3 people to rebuild everything. But here's the twist. The ones making the decision, they're not human. We've handed this whole critical task over to AI.
Okay, so before we see the teams, we need to lay out the rules of the game. To make this a fair fight, we gave both AIs the exact same scenario with some really strict rules just to see how they'd handle the pressure. Now, these constraints are absolutely crucial. First, there's no contact with the outside world. None. They've only got basic clothing, no tools, no equipment, nothing. And this isn't some short-term camping trip. We're talking 20-plus years of survival. And maybe most importantly, if someone is lost, that's it. No replacements. The team has to make it work from day one with only the skills they bring.
First up, we have Team A. This team was picked by an AI using what you could call a deep research approach. So think of this AI as one that's read, well, basically the entire internet, and it's trying to find the most optimal, theoretical solution. As you're about to see, its approach is super intellectual, almost like it's trying to reboot civilization straight from a textbook.
So, its first pick? A soil and plant scientist. The logic here is pretty clear, right? You need to figure out what you can eat, what you can grow, and where to find clean water. It's all about establishing that long-term food security, a very systematic, scientific start.
And for its second pick, a materials engineer. Okay, now the AI is thinking really big. It wants someone who can look at raw clay, look at ore in the ground, and figure out how to make ceramics, metals, and eventually tools from scratch. I mean, this is a huge leap. It's aiming to rebuild technology itself.
And finally, to keep this brain trust alive, an emergency medicine physician. Their job is to manage injuries and sickness without any of the modern gear we take for granted. The AI actually called this preserving human capital, which is a pretty cold, robotic way of saying, let's keep the experts from dying. So that's Team A, food, tech, and health, all picked from a very top-down scientific point of view.
All right, now for the challenger, Team B. This team was chosen by an AI using a completely different method called a graph of thoughts approach. Instead of just digging deep for one answer, this AI explores all these different branching ideas and weighs their practical outcomes, kind of like a massive complex flowchart. And you'll see this leads to a very, very different philosophy, one that's all about immediate, hands-on skills.
The cornerstone of Team B is a farmer. And notice the difference, right? Not a scientist to study plants, but someone to actually till the soil, plant seeds, and create a real food surplus. This approach is all about creating a reliable calorie engine, not theoretical analysis.
Now, this next choice is absolutely fascinating. Instead of a doctor, this AI picked a veterinarian. And you might be asking, why a vet? Well, think about it. Vets are masters of what's called austere medicine. They're used to operating and treating trauma without a perfectly sterile hospital. Plus, they can care for any animals the team might find and domesticate. It's a brilliant 2-for-1 pick.
And finally, to build their new world, a carpenter. Again, notice the pattern. Not an engineer to theorize about making tools, but a builder who can actually construct a shelter, build traps, and craft basic furniture right from day one.
Okay, so let's put them head to head. When you see it like this, the difference in philosophy just jumps right out at you. Team A is all about theoretical knowledge, scientists and engineers who know how things work. Team B is all about applied skill, farmers, vets, and carpenters who know how to do things right now with their hands.
So, we have two very different teams, two completely different survival philosophies. To break the tie, we brought in a neutral third-party AI to act as a judge. Its only job was to analyze both teams against those strict initial rules we talked about.
All right, this is the moment of truth. After all of this, which group actually makes it? Is it the thinkers or the doers? The scientists or the practitioners?
And the verdict is in. It's a clear, decisive win for Team B, the practitioners. The judge determined they had a significantly better chance of long-term survival, no question.
So why did they win? Well, the reasoning is actually pretty simple and powerful. Team B's skills are immediately useful. A carpenter can build a shelter on day one. A farmer can start cultivating food right away. A vet can set a broken bone. Their skills don't need any pre-existing infrastructure or tools to be effective.
As the judge put it, survival first beats scientific depth.
But you know, this whole experiment is way more than just a fun little survival game. It actually reveals something pretty profound about the different ways that AI can approach problem solving. It really is a classic battle between two fundamental ideas.
What we're really seeing here is a clash between idealism and pragmatism. The deep research AI was totally idealistic. It was shooting for the moon, trying to rebuild civilization from scratch. But in doing so, it completely overlooked the hard constraints of the problem. The graph of thoughts AI, on the other hand, was pragmatic. It grounded every single choice in the reality of the situation. No tools, no help, just three people against the world.
This quote right here just hits the nail on the head. Team A's materials engineer is the perfect example of this flaw. The AI suggested they could process metal ore with their bare hands. I mean, come on. That's a classic case of what you'd call theoretical drift, where a great idea on paper just completely falls apart in the real world.
So, now I've got to turn the question over to you. Looking at these two teams, where would you place your bet? If it was your life on the line, would you trust the scientists for that long-shot chance at rebuilding civilization, or would you go with the practitioners to make absolutely sure you survive those first few critical years? It's a tough call.
Please click the link in the comment for the extension we used here.